because I'm going to do the recording. Hey guys, happy Sunday evening. Thanks for jumping on tonight on our all team training call for Live Free Nations. And this is our region training call. I'm Kristen Shoemaker, Regional Vice President, Independent Consultant with Arbonne. And tonight we are going to be training on kind of two of the most impactful things that have affected my business in a positive way. And so you might want a pen and paper. This is not just going to be me talking, but we're going to talk about some keys to like looking at your calendar and effectively just filling out your calendar and what that looks like to have an effective business. And then just some little goals that you can set for yourself. And so these trainings have been like super impactful for me. And so I'm going to give them to y'all. So the first thing that I want to train on is, if you guys are jumping on a little bit late, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and mute yourself as you're getting on. And please feel free to ask questions in the chat as I'm training, and I will get to them because I want you guys to be well informed. So the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is what's called the revolving 10 or the rotating 10. And this is really the secret to keeping your business in momentum. In Arbonne, we really do have a system for success. And if you are finding that you're not in momentum, if your business is feeling kind of stagnant, it could be that you are not applying the system to success. And if you're applying the system and your business isn't moving forward, then we want to look at your skill set and see if there's some things that need to be tweaked. But consistency is the key to being successful in this business. And when you are consistent, you will be in momentum. Now, that does not mean that you have to be constantly working your business. It's just consistently working. And so you might find that you work your business for like 2 or 3 months consistently, whatever that consistency means to you. Like we know we talk about running and walking and jogging and those different speeds. But then maybe something happens in your life and you take like 2 or 3 months off where you're not focused on your business, and you're going to see a drastic drop in your momentum in your business because of what we talk about in the 90-day cycles and things like that. So I'm going to talk about the revolving 10 tonight. And what that means is, so today is February 10th, and I'm going to show you guys just a little snippet of my schedule. So between now and February 10th, or February 10th and March 10th, so like a 30-day period, essentially, even though February only has 28 days, you need to have 10 income-producing activities on your calendar. So for me, I have a paper calendar and a electronic calendar, and I like to block my Arbonne activities in an orange marker because it helps me see, just like physically see that that's an event or an income-producing activity that I have on my calendar. So when you're in momentum, you tend to love your business, right? Like you're super excited, you're inviting people into your business, you're talking about it a lot. And when you start to lose momentum, for me, like I become discouraged, I become disenchanted, and a lot of times I become disconnected with what I'm doing in my business. And so this is your business. It's not my business. I have my business. Each of you has your own personal business. And so you need to take ownership over your business. And if you find that you're feeling discouraged, disconnected, or disenchanted with the whole process, it's probably because you're not in momentum, because that consistency has gone away. And you might even feel guilty or shameful about this. And that is not what needs to happen. That guilty, shameful feeling or thought can tend to put you in a negative spiral. And I just want to tell you right now, you guys have heard me say like, no shame, no stories. There's no shame. Like this is day one. This can be ground zero, and you can start from here on. And there's kind of 3 modes that I love when people talk about this, and Cecilia Stoll talks about this a lot. There are 3 modes that you're in your business when you're working your business with Arbonne. You're either blaming, justifying, or building. And I know that for me, I've been in all three of those places where I'm blaming other people for why this doesn't work, or I'm justifying why I don't have any time to make time for my business, or I'm building. And instead of being in blaming or justifying, just decide today, because it really is a decision, that you're going to move forward. You're going to get out of those blaming and justifying modes, and you're going to move forward into building your business. So to avoid the blaming and justifying and to be in the building mode, that's where we want to work on our revolving 10. And you guys, this is this was so freeing for me when I heard this, because you can seriously, and I'm kind of the type of person that could justify constantly working my business. And that's not healthy either. Nobody wants this for a 9 to 5. Okay. This is not instead of working your full-time job, you're working full-time with Arbonne. This is something that you do in the nooks and crannies of your life. For me, about 15 to 20 hours a week, because I'm building to nation. But for you, it might just be 5 hours a week. It might be 10 hours a week. But it needs to be that consistent weekly activity. So I love the concept of the revolving 10. And when I was moving towards Region, I made a commitment to myself that I was going to do more than kind of what was required. But as I'm coaching you guys, I want you to see from an activity standpoint that 6 to 8 group presentations, either in person or virtual, is kind of what you want to shoot for. Okay, 6 for success, 8 to be great. And that way you can just stay in that momentum. So 6 to 8 group presentations in that revolving 10, and then you fill in the rest with one-on-ones. And then also, like, from those one-on-ones, guests that are confirmed for events. So you want to have 10 income producing activities in 30 days. And this really keeps you moving forward, and it keeps you moving forward with kind of a sense of urgency, because if you do a group presentation and then you're booking from that group presentation, you're going to keep yourself in that momentum, and it's encouraging. So if you're going for a qualification, if you're trying to like go into area qual, or even as we get there, when you all are trying to go for region qual, that might be more. Like, I think when I was going for region qual, I was probably doing about 10 to 12 events a month. And that for me was abnormal. I don't like doing that much activity, but that was like I was kind of sprinting towards the end to finish a qualification. So just remember, regardless of where you are today, if you're listening to this call tonight and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have any activity scheduled in the next 30 days. Again, we're not, with no shame, no stories, don't blame, don't justify. It just starts with 1. And so if you haven't booked anything tonight for the month of February and into the month of March, I want you to decide tonight, before you get off this call, that you're going to decide to book 1 event. And once you've booked 1 event, I want you to decide that you're going to book 2 events. And after that, make it 3, because it does take that courage to initially step out and start booking. And I remember very vividly when we moved to Atlanta, and I had built a lot of my business through one-on-one reach outs via text message and Facebook message, and I hadn't done a lot of events. But I knew in my heart that that's what I needed to do to start moving my business forward at a faster pace. And I remember being so scared to pick up the phone and call someone and ask if they would host. And y'all, like, the first 4 people that I asked said no. And it was okay. I needed to be okay with it. And I think it kind of like, it got me over that initial hump of fear. And then the next 4 people said yes, they would host. And so it just starts with 1 yes. Then once you've had that 1 and then the 2 and then the 3, I would really encourage you to try to get up to that 10 in the revolving 10. And they could be one-on-ones, like I said, but ideally you're going to have that 6 to 8, because you're going to get in front of those 30 to 40 people in the month in that way. If I have a group, the thing I love about a group presentation, for me, especially belly to belly, so in person, is if I book 1 group presentation and I teach a clean eating class or do a facial presentation, from that, I'm hopeful that I'll book 2 to 3 presentations and probably at least 1 to 2 one-on-ones about the business. And so you can see how that starts to snowball, and you might not have to be calling individuals that you know to book because you're booking from your bookings, and that just keeps that activity rolling. So if that doesn't happen, raise your hand if you've had a party and nobody showed up, like a lot. Okay, so yeah, Dana's the only one we can see on here. But if that doesn't happen and it's like someone doesn't show up, or or it's just like not a great in-person party, that's totally okay. That's part of the business. But make that commitment to yourself that you're either going to reschedule the party that got canceled, or you're going to find an event that next day you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to call someone and get another booking from that. And because you're just going back to the drawing board and you just start over and the cycle begins, and you're always putting people in the funnel that way of the process. So does anyone have any questions on the revolving 10? And then I'm going to move on to something else. It's okay if you don't. Okay, so I hope that's freeing to you, and I hope it kind of gives you some structure around your activity, because activity is honestly key to this business. If you're not in activity, you're not going to have QV. And that's where we're going to jump to next, because I loved this training that Lindsay Hepburn did. Lindsay Hepburn's an MVP friend of mine, and it was also really freeing to me, and it's kind of a personal goal that I have for myself. I try to meet or exceed this goal every month. And what she really teaches her team is to gather 500 PQV, so personal qualifying volume, so that's your personal orders plus your preferred clients per week. Okay, so if you're looking at the month of February, it's a great goal for you to say, this week I'm going to hit 500 PQV, instead of that big kind of lofty goal of 2,500 in a month. And if you gather 500 PQV every week of the month, that's going to give you 2,000 PQV in volume that month. Now, say you also sponsor a business partner and you're teaching them to do the same. Okay, that 2,000 PQV just turned into 4,000 PQV because you're teaching that business partner to do the same. And the thing I love about this is sometimes we get hung up on, I'm going to sell eight fit kits this month, and that's going to be about 2,500 PQV, and I'm going to find 2 new business partners that really want to change lives with me. Okay, for some people, I think we throw the baby out in the bathwater with the kit idea. Yes, Arbonne has incentivized us to sell kits. Each kit is a minimum. You're going to make about $50 almost on a kit, even before you're a district manager. Once you're a district manager, it's about $60. Once you're an area manager, it's $75. Once you're a regional vice president, it's $80 a kit. So the kits are awesome, but I think sometimes we miss hearing the need around us for the other products that people are looking for that are pure, safe, and beneficial. Like someone might say, I'm really looking for a mascara that doesn't irritate my eyes. And we're thinking, oh my gosh, I have to sell them an RE9 set. Sell them the mascara, it's 39 QV. So if you're thinking about it in these 500 QV chunks, you might sell a protein there or 2 proteins there. That's 154, So you can piece together 500 QV per week, and I think that's an awesome goal. And sometimes, there's that activity goal kind of goes up and down. So if you're doing your revolving 10, you might do an event, like a typical in-person event, you'll get a 500 QV party. That's just statistically what it amounts to. But sometimes that's a 0 QV party, and sometimes it's a 2,500 QV party. I've done all of those. And so sometimes that activity goes back and forth. And so you just kind of have to fluctuate your goals. If you exceed 500 that week, awesome. If you hit 2,500 that week, great, amazing. That's great. Do 500 the next week, or maybe you'll exceed it again. Or maybe you didn't hit 500 the previous week. So you can set yourself up to trying to double that the next week. And we really I don't want to harp on QV, but I love that our compensation plan is a sales-based compensation plan. And when you help people understand these small chunks as they're building their businesses, it helps your business grow as well. And you get out of that, you're not in that rhythm of blaming and justifying, you're in a rhythm of building. So I don't know what you have been focused on in your business, like from a numbers standpoint. I love numbers. I love looking at my QV. I love looking at our team's QV because I'm kind of a dork and love numbers. Um, but I'm not sitting here like slapping your hand or saying you need to do better. Again, this is your business and there's no shame in where you are today. I'm just encouraging you guys with these trainings today of setting some parameters and some goals that you can personally try to hit and to help your business move forward because it's your business. And I want to be handing out sets of keys to everyone on our team, but I can't build your business for you. You have to decide to build your business. So I want you guys just to cast off any shackles of shame, doubt, guilt that you feel right now, and just come on this journey with me of building together in these small incremental blocks. And we're going to just start gathering volume and sharing the opportunity. And that is twofold because, like I said, the sales are awesome and we have that sales-based comp plan. But y'all, people do not go to bed at night crying about their shampoo and conditioner. They just don't. But they do go to bed at night wondering how are they going to pay their mortgage, or how are they going to afford walking down the aisle when they're about to get married, or they don't want to put their kids in daycare for another night, for another day. Okay, those are things that people go to bed at night crying about, and we have a solution for them, and you guys know that. I'm not going to get stuck on that, but we all know people who want residual income or a complementary income, or maybe someone who makes well over 6 figures, but they have no time to spend with the people that they love. We all know those people. And so that's why we're also sharing the opportunity and teaching people how to do this 500 QV per week. So I want you to sow those seeds generously, the seeds about the amazing products that we have, and the seeds about the amazing opportunity, which is the best product that we have, y'all. It is the absolute best. I mean, I got my 1099 the other day for my taxes, and I just was almost in tears. I just couldn't believe that I make a full-time income getting to do this and loving what I do every single day. My daughter said to me today, what would you do if you weren't doing Arbonne? I was like, I have no idea. They're like, seriously, what would you do? And I was like, well, if I went back in time, I always thought I wanted to be a doctor. And like, I still sometimes think I would maybe want to be a doctor, but not really. Anna's like, my mom's a doctor. You don't want to be a doctor. But I love that I get to do this. It's one of my favorite things ever that I get to do. So sow that generously, sow your vision generously. And I still have that Vision 90 goal in place for our team. And right now we're at 12 lives changed this month. We're on day 10. So we have what? Somebody do the math. I'm not good. I just said I love numbers. I'm not good with math. But anyway, we have 12. We have to get to 90. I'm not doing the math right now. I'm not writing it down. So here are some skills for gathering QV. So I'm going to give you 10 quick tips. And what I would encourage you to do is choose 2 or 3 of these this week. And maybe next week, choose 2 or 3. And then maybe the next week, 78 more. Thanks, March. And see which ones work for you to gather that 500 QV. Okay, so lean into your gifts. Some of these things you might not resonate with. Be authentic to yourself, but keep these like parameters in place, okay? So number 1, make sure you are using the products. I was actually, as I was writing this, convicted a little bit about this because if anyone's been in my house lately, I've run out of my Arbonne hand soap. And so on the Arbonne hand soap thing is a comp with the Arbonne hand cream and a Method hand soap. Okay, but I am going on tonight and I'm ordering Arbonne hand soap because I'm like, I need to be a product of the products and I need to have integrity. I don't want someone walking into my house knowing I sell Arbonne and then I don't have Arbonne hand soap sitting on my counters in my bathroom. So have integrity with that and be a product of the product. I am in love with our shampoo. I don't know if y'all have started using it, but I'm using it. My daughters are using it. And my one daughter has like really thick, kind of curly-ish hair. but not like tight curls, but it just gets really frizzy. And y'all, her hair looks gorgeous now. She's like, Mom, look, my curls are like not frizzing out. And I was like, I know. So when you're a product of the product, you're going to recommend the products. It's just going to be natural to be like, oh my gosh, I love this lip gloss. Oh my gosh, I love this mascara. Yeah, Leslie says she loves the shampoo too. So I'm so excited about the shampoo. I know I'm going to sell a lot of shampoo because I'm so excited about it. So, and that just comes with process. Please don't hear me say that you have to replace right now every single product that is in your house with Arbonne if we sell it. But also don't get out your Trish McEvoy lipstick if people think you're selling Arbonne, because that's just kind of a little bit of a discrepancy. When you run out of your Trish, you can put it on secretly if you haven't run out. But when you run out of it, you need to buy the Arbonne lipstick so you can sell the Arbonne lipstick. So when you run out of stuff, be a product of the product. Number 2, we're going to talk a minute about preferred clients. And there's a lot of different things that are amazing about our preferred client program. So we have PC renewals and rewards. We have the preferred client auto ship program. And we have the most generous preferred client program in the market, y'all. This is a preferred client program that people get 20 to 40% off for the preferred clients for an entire year. They get free shipping. They get free gifts. I already mentioned price points on the ASVPs, but for a consultant, it's about $48. For a district manager, it's $60. For an area manager, it's $75. And for a regional vice president, it's $80 per ASVP when we sell those packages to preferred clients, which is amazing. And I want you guys just to fall in love with our preferred client program. It's amazing that they have no required auto ship. It's amazing that they get this incredible discount for an entire year. And as our prices become more competitive, it's going to even be more amazing. I have several preferred clients now on auto ship because of the cool things about auto ship. Did you know that for a 100 QV order, your preferred client will get auto ship and they get a free gift and free shipping on the auto ship? So if you have someone like I have a client right now that all she orders is Digestion Plus. So she's on a 60-day Digestion Plus, 2 boxes, auto ship. So every time it ships to her, she gets a free gift and she gets free shipping. And it's 100 QV versus 150 QV. So fall in love with that. If you don't know how to check your preferred client renewals and rewards, please reach out to your mentor. The next number 3 is ask a lot of people. And I know this sounds silly, but you really have to ask a lot of people. A lot of the time, I love spending belly to belly. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was in our church and someone started talking to me about how they didn't like the lines on their neck. So I just said, have you ever heard of our Genius Ultra? And she had not heard of it. And I said, well, I'd love for you to try it with our neck cream. And I explained how Christine Joseph, who's on Sandra's team, is the #1 seller of the Genius Ultra. And she works in a med spa. And it's because of that area on their neck. So there's a little takeaway for you guys. But ask and ask and ask. And if you hear somebody that has a need, if they have high blood pressure, if they want to lose weight, just ask if you could share some information with them about our incredible 30 Days to Healthy Living program, and you'd love to send them a video. Identify people's needs. Different people have different needs. A college student is going to have a different need than a 40-year-old stay-at-home mom. And it might be that price point for ASVP for a college student is not conducive. Maybe they just need Fizz Sticks and they need some Digestion Plus, the Muffin Top Eraser, and they need some protein powder. Okay, don't narrow it down in just these ASVP packages. That's why I love the 500 QV. Number 4, let's see. Run with what's been made available to you. We have the Live Free Friends and Family group where you are adding your friends and family who want to hear more and tagging them in presentations. We are going to start offering 2 Healthy Living Lives a month and 2 Discover Arbonnes a month that you can plug your people into so that you have a one-stop shop for them just to plug into. And I know we've talked about this before, but plug people in to this, y'all. And I'm going to promise to make it clear when we're doing these presentations. If you had 6 people each attend those 4 presentations online, you just plug them in You don't even have to do the presentation. That's 24 people who heard either about the healthy living or the business opportunity. And if a quarter of those people bought an ASVP and a quarter looked at the business, how different would your business look in March? Okay, so utilize what we already have available. And be number 5, that was number 4. Number 5, be willing to build new relationships. We are in network marketing. Your job is to constantly network. So, you might have to go to the park and meet somebody new and just talk to them and build a relationship with them and friend them on Facebook and have your samples in the back of the car. When they ask what you do, ask if they would like a sample after you share that you have your own amazing health and wellness business. Be willing to build new relationships and kind of look for new opportunities all the time. I joined gyms on purpose to build relationships, and you get to write off your gym memberships if you didn't know that. So that might be a new way for you to build a relationship with people. There's a lot of other things you can do, so we can talk about that. Number, what am I on, 6? Am I on 6? I think I am. Okay, fortunes in the follow-up. Fortunes in the follow-up. Fortunes in the follow-up. Fortunes in the follow-up. You don't have to do this right now, but I want you guys to make 3 columns on a piece of paper. And on the first column, I want you to write down in the last 30 days, everyone that you've shared the opportunity about the business with. In the next column, I want you to write down everyone that may be willing to host for you. And then in the last column, I want you to write down everyone that's interested in products. And you can take some time to do that tonight or tomorrow. And those will be people that you need to follow up with, because it takes 7 to 16 exposures for people. And if you have a question about how to follow up or how to ask politely or be pleasantly persistent, we can have a conversation about that. But I know that is such a true fact, that a lot of times people have told you no, either because they don't know, KNOW, or because the timing in their life wasn't correct to use the products or to understand more about the business. So just because you reach out to someone 7 months ago and they weren't interested doesn't mean that they're not interested now. And if they still aren't interested, I always say, well, can I follow up with you in 3 months and see if anything's changed? And I put a reminder on my phone in 3 months to call them back so I don't forget. Just give them a great taste of who you are. We are not pushy. We are not salesy. We are educating people and being passionate with what we're passionate about. So just have them have a great experience with you. Okay, this next one I think is really kind of cool and also kind of scares me, but I'm excited to implement this because I haven't done this and someone just gave me this tip the other day. Reach out to clients who haven't ordered from you in the last 6 months or more. And there's a lot of reasons to do this. A lot of times people forget to follow up with you and they might need reorders. The number one reason that people stop using our products is because their consultant didn't follow up with them and they decided to go try something else because it was too much hassle for them to follow up with a consultant. So maybe you have had a client now that used to have a different consultant and they said, my consultant disappeared. I don't know where they went. Don't be that person. Circle back with your people that ordered 6 months to a year ago and ask if you can help them with anything else. And this takes a lot of courage. It really does, because I think I play head games with myself about why aren't they reordering anymore? Or why didn't they return my text message? But I know that you guys have it inside of you to do that. The number 7 is treat your products as employees. So if you have an extra RE9 set or an extra set of the hair care or an extra eye palette from the new eyeshadows or I don't know, any extras, loan those out, okay? Pretend that they're your employees and you're gonna loan them out full-size sets and let people use them. One, you're going to definitely get them back and follow up with them, right? I'm not giving somebody my extra RE9 set and never getting it back from them. But 2, it really is neat for people to see the full size sets and actually get to experience that. the likelihood of them purchasing is like 65% higher if they use the full size set for 3 days or more. So let those things work for you. If you have several RE9 sets, you could have 3 or 4 employees out there working for you at the same time. And number 8, when in doubt, host or throw something yourself. There's a lot of times where I just host a little get together because I can't book anything. And you all, if 1 or 2 people come, it counts. So host something yourself. Number 9, don't make products a big deal. Allow people to feel comfortable purchasing. No one goes into Ulta and buys $300 a product and the cashier's like, oh, wow, you're spending $300 a product. Are you sure you want to spend $300 on product? Okay, they go up to the cashier and they check out and the lady just cashes them out. I think sometimes I feel like responsible to make sure that people are getting the best deal, or I don't know. But I've just been convicted about that, of just let them purchase what they're going to purchase and not purchase what they're not going to purchase. And then finally, number 10, share your personal story with people. And this is not just on social media. I found some of my best connections is when people say, well, are you still doing Arbonne? And I get to tell them why I'm still doing it and what I'm passionate about face to face. So make that a goal as well. Your activity will feed your volume. And if I'm not doing the system for success, that's going to show up in the volume that's not coming about. But your decision to do this will trump any skill that you lack, if that makes sense. So a decided heart will just make it happen. And that's where that revolving 10 is so important. And then you will acquire the skills as you go, and then your momentum grows. Okay, so that's all I have for those 2 things. That was kind of a lot to throw in tonight, but I just want us to kind of set some goals and stick to them. And I want to hear what your guys' wins are in the next couple of weeks with this 500 PQV and this revolving 10. And I love just focusing on those 2 things and just making it simple. So number 10 was share your personal story, and not just on social media, just talking to people. Thanks, Cynthia. Oh, look at it. So Marge was really brave today, and she said she gave people samples in her card while she was waiting. The lady was getting a carryout order. So just make sure that you follow up with her. I always, like, this lady at my nail salon wants a brightening skincare set, and I was supposed to drop it off on Sunday last week, and I haven't dropped it off yet, so I have to go drop it off. You guys have any other questions? If you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself. And I hope this is exciting and also kind of encouraging to you guys and helps you kind of set some goals per week.
Kristen, can you give an example of being pleasantly persistent?
Sure. So I kind of don't accept no from somebody until they are like, absolutely heck no, please don't ever talk to me about this again. So, and people have said that to me. But I'll say, like, if someone says, well, I'm not interested in trying the 30 days to healthy living right now, like finances or whatever, I write them down on like a separate sheet of paper and I actually put it on my whiteboard. And then if I have a special or something, I'll follow up with them again and say, I don't know if the timing right now is good for you, but I'm running a special where you could get the set for like the $30 preferred client fee is waived. Or, and I always am like, I like doing pressure releases in my business. Like, I don't know if this is appropriate for you, or this may not be a fit for you, but I make sure that I'm keeping track of those people. And then also with the business opportunity, I will always say, like, if someone says, I don't know if it's a good fit for me right now, then I always ask, is it okay if I follow up with you in 3 months and see if anything's changed in your life? And if they say, no, I don't want you to follow up with me in 3 months, then I'll say, would it be okay if I followed up with you in 6 months? And, usually people will say yes. Sheila Green, who's like the #2 income earner in all of Arbonne, her entire business is all of Europe, basically. She lives in New York. Her sponsor followed up with her 10 times before she said yes to the business. And I've seen Sheila like weep on stage of just saying, I cannot believe, like when I think of what if she didn't follow up with me that 10th time, like where would my life be today? And just the power that she's so thankful that this lady would ask, can I follow up with you at this time? And the lady would write it in her calendar and she would follow up with her. And Sheila would tell her no. And she would say, can I follow up with you and see if anything's changed in 3 months? Because she knew this would be so good for Sheila. And what happened is 10 months later in Sheila's life, her husband lost his job, and Sheila was going to have to go back to work full time. And so something shifted in their family where 10 months later, she was ready to look at the business. So that's just always stuck out to me when I heard her train on that. So yeah, good question, Cynthia. Any other questions? Okay, it's always weird when you guys are like muted and nobody has any questions and you're like, okay. So thank you guys so much for getting on and getting on live. And thank you for everyone who's going to be listening to the recording. I hope this was helpful and I hope it gives you some ideas. I really want us to share our wins, and our wins don't have to be a sale. Like if you made a hard ask or, you know, someone was excited about something you were doing, please like post those in our group and let's just encourage each other on, you know, cheer each other on and be an encouragement to each other as we're building this as a team. So, okay, I want you guys to have a good night, and I really appreciate you all, and I'm going to stop the recording.